Okay, so this is the Q&A session from the viewer feedback. You obviously saw the video that I made a few days ago and asked for your questions, and we had actually over 100 questions. I'm going to try and nail it down to the most important ones and answer those because if I tried to answer every single one of them, this video would probably be 45 minutes long. But I think I've narrowed it down to like the top 50 or 60 questions. We're going to start with the video editing side first, then we'll go to Candy's questions, and then we'll go to general questions with me. So, Candy, go ahead and start with the general questions about video editing.
Okay. The first one comes from Mary2, and it is, what do you use for lighting and what do you use for teleprompting?
Okay, for lighting, I use generally just incandescent lights. I got them online from Amazon. They are made for video editing with the flesh tones and everything. Don't want to get too in-depth with that because there are so many different kinds of lights you can use. Now, as far as teleprompting goes, I usually take a piece of paper and write the most important notes down on it and just tape it to the tripod in front of the camera so I can use it for reference.
Good answer, good answer.
Okay.
The second one comes from Cacti1223 and Matt Plain Flyer. What video editing software do you use?
I have been using Magic's Movie Edit Pro software for the last 6 years. It's my favorite software. I have also been dabbling with a Mac program called Final Cut Pro 10, and I'm still learning that software, so I've only done one video with that and I'm still learning how to use it.
Okay. And Nick Ola and Flam Effect both ask, could you make some more magic tutorials?
Most certainly can, and I am working on that as we speak. There'll be some new announcements coming up very soon about that.
Okay. And Micah was here. What is your ambition in video production, and is Magic's enough for you after years of working with it?
For what I do as far as consumer use, the Magic's Movie Edit Pro software is well more than enough. I have been dabbling with Final Cut Pro. I've been messing with that for probably 6 months or so. I'm still trying to learn all the ins and outs with that. But for any type of home use, the Magic's Movie Edit Pro software will be all you need.
Okay. And we got one coming from Malcolm King. Thanks for your question. What camera does Candy use when taking video planes out at the field? And I have no idea.
It's a Sony Handycam. It has a 120 gigabyte hard drive for storage space. It also uses memory cards if I want. It is the best camera that I have found for recording airplanes in flight as far as keeping it in frame.
Yeah, it's an HD camera.
It's an HD camera, yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, and Nick Turner asks, what cameras do you use to record your reviews?
I also have a Canon camera. It's a HF G10, and that's what we're using right now to record this video. It's a newer camera than the Sony Handycam. It has a lot more functions, and I'm still trying to learn that.
Okay, and it looks like our last question in this type of questions. NC Dirt 1. What kind of work do you do outside of RC?
It's really way off. It's not even close to being.
Yeah, let me answer this one. It's not a honeydew work. No honeydew work.
I am a shift supervisor at a petrochemical plant here in Augusta, Georgia, and I've been working there for 25 years.
Long time.
Okay, and that's the last question there?
Yeah.
Okay, next.
As far as the video editing.
Yeah. Next are the questions for Candy. She had a few questions.
Oh, okay.
Okay, Startaz. Hi, Eric, and great idea, by the way. So I've got one for Candy. How does Eric talk you into doing his video shoots? And does he have to bribe you, or do you just enjoy getting out to the flying field? After all, it's got to be good as you get to spend more time together.
It is a good chance for us to spend more time together. He doesn't have to bribe me. All he has to do is, just say that he needs... No, there's none of that involved. I know that he can't do it alone. I know that he needs help, so I'm there to help him. All he's got to do is ask. There are some days where I'm like, oh man, I really didn't want to, record today, but I'll, grin and bear it and go out and do it.
And she does a fantastic job keeping those airplanes and helicopters in frame too. So kudos to Candy.
Suggestions.
Okay, next question comes from the iMac man. How long have you and Candy been married?
Too long. No. We started dating in 1989 and we were married in 1992.
Okay, you do the math on that
Yeah.
one because I don't even remember anymore.
Like I said, too long.
Okay, next question. Terry Goindum says, this is for Candy. How do you really like being the video girl, woman, gal? My hubby wants to do the same thing as you guys out there, and I need tips on what I should be doing or not doing. We are here in Alberta, and he is really a good operator for RC as well. Signed, Vicky L.
Any tips? I don't know that I can give you any tips. Just do your best. You get better as you do it.
Yeah.
I enjoy doing it. Like I said, kind of adding on to one of the other questions. I know he can't do it alone, so I enjoy doing it, and just he might get frustrated there at times, and did you get it? And I didn't get it, but he enjoys flying, so he'll just do it again, and
right.
So just there's a little frustration there sometimes, but you just got to put yourself in his shoes and just
okay.
Do it.
All right, next question from Helly Mouse. Is Candy also into RC, or do you drag her and have she her own vision of the vids you make or some input? You two looks like a great couple to me. Is Candy also into RC?
Yeah, I don't fly.
Not
He has tried to get me a couple times to fly a few things. You may have saw some videos of me trying to do something, and if I had more time to do it, I probably could learn it. Mm-hmm. And then sometimes I think part of the question was, do I have any suggestion? Yeah, input. Sometimes he might do something and I'll be like, well, maybe you should do this, and he takes that into consideration.
Right. Okay, last question for Candy is from Patrolman 2056. Hey Eric, where do I get me a wife like that seems to like RC like Candy? She got any sisters? Good work, my friend. Steve from the UK.
All right, Steve in the UK. I do have a sister.
She's married.
She's married, and she probably would not be into the RC stuff. So keep on looking, as Eric was saying. Keep on flying. Keep on looking. She's probably out there. Just start going to the shows or something. You might meet her there.
Okay. Well, that's the first couple of rounds of questions. Next is an all-open forum that was pointed at me, generally all in RC. So let's get to that, Candy. Let's go ahead and take those questions out real quick. Now, there's a lot of them, and I hope you've got plenty of time. I wanted to keep this video short. Several people asked the same questions, so I tried to group them together, and we'll just try and go through them as fast as possible.
Okay. RC Squirrel 17, how did you get into RC?
When I was in my early 20s, I just had a fascination with remote control products, and I decided to give it a try.
Yeah, somebody asked about how long we've been together. I remember back when we started dating, you had a little car that you used to
Yep.
drive around.
Yep, okay.
This must have the same question from several people. RC Man 1417, Stektfisk 33, Logan 31500, and Braden Peterson, and one more, the iMac Man. What was your first RC airplane?
My first RC airplane was a high wing trainer. I bought it back in 1989 from Tower Hobbies when it was a mail order catalog. There was no internet back then, and I tried it out, didn't really know what the heck I was doing, and never really had a whole lot of fun with that plane.
And I don't remember that one, but I remember one, oh gosh, that you got when we took it out to a field, and he never really got to learn how to fly it because he crashed it and broke it.
Yeah, it's probably the same one.
Okay. Okay, Vic. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I say these wrong or list it wrong or anything like that. Please forgive me. VPC 1600, Simtech 30, and looks like we got Braden Peterson again. I would like to know your favorite planes.
My favorite plane is probably the one that I just got. Because I own so many, it's usually the one I'm flying currently. If you had to nail me down on one particular plane, it would probably be the Park Zone Typhoon, because it was my third airplane. That was my first 3D trainer, and I still have it. Actually, it's right up here. You can't see it.
Well, you got a Typhoon here too,
Well,
and I remember the Typhoon. You
Yeah.
haven't flown it a lot.
I've got two of them, but this is the original that you can't see up here. I still have my third airplane. It's probably 6 years old, and it's got at least 15,000 miles on it in RC road trips. I still like flying that airplane.
Next one is from Kevin Julie Van. I would like to hear your background in RC, how you got started, and how you ended up doing a web show.
Okay, how I got started in RC.
Your background in RC.
My background. Really just kind of picked up on it in my early 20s, racing cars and trucks. Tried an airplane way back then. Didn't have as much support that I do now, so I kind of gave that up. I got back into it hard and heavy about 6 or 7 years ago, and the rest is history because it's all on YouTube.
And how you ended up doing a web show.
Oh, the web show. It really just kind of worked its way into that. The first few videos I made was really basically me just flying something or driving something. And then I had so many people asking me questions about how it works or what it does. I just ended up working it into doing video reviews.
Yeah, and if I remember, some of the first videos he started putting on YouTube weren't even about the planes. They were doing the shadow, not the shadow effect, where two people, you shot them and then...
Those were video
Like the-
editing
Yeah.
tutorials.
And then you just started doing the
Right,
tutorials
right.
on planes and stuff. Okay, we got Thomas Baker wants to know, what is your favorite hobby besides RC airplanes?
I like riding motorcycles. Candy and I bought a canoe last year. We've started canoeing. And I just recently got into kayaking, and I like that a lot. So mostly RC with a few other side hobbies.
He didn't want to be in the canoe with me, at the same time. He wants to be in the separate kayak.
Right.
Arrow FPV. How many hours do you spend doing RC each week? How many in shop and how many flying?
It really depends on my work schedule. I generally don't fly a lot on my off days because I work 12 hours at a time. I mean on my work days because I work 12 hours at a time. On my off days, I'll spend a little bit of time out here probably every day. And when I have a lot of video reviews, which you can see in the background here, I am currently backed up on things to review.
Yep, in the making.
I have a lot of time out here.
And Mega Lego Man 123. Are you ever going to try and make your own plane to fly?
I actually did that probably 5 or 6 years ago. I made a scratch build F-22. It's on my website. I still have the plans there and everything I used to build it. It's a really good feeling to make your own RC airplane and see it fly. So I suggest everybody try it at least one time.
Or not fly and have to make those modifications.
Yeah.
I think you've gone through that too. Crazy Red Crow wants to know if there's any advice for the new guy to the RC planes.
Don't get into it.
Expensive hobby.
It's very addictive. No, it's great. It's a fun hobby. I've had lots of fun with the people I've met. Everybody's welcomed me with open arms. Go for it. Try something out.
And hopefully you'll have a good woman by your side to, back you up on that. Tommy TML, thanks for your question. How does Flight Simulator compare to the real atmosphere of flying in real conditions?
I always suggest flight sims first because it gives you sick time and gives you the experience of flying an airplane. And if you crash, you don't lose anything. You hit the reset button. All the reactions, the stick reactions are the same. When you get out to the real field, it is slightly different, and you'll know it when you try it, but I always suggest flight sims first.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And Julio C. Oliveira, what is your opinion on scratch-built versus commercial model?
Me personally, I would go with commercial models, and the only reason for that is I just don't have the time to build from scratch. It was a great experience for me, and it was very rewarding to see one of my scratch builds fly, but I'm kind of lazy too, so I'd rather have somebody build something for me and I just put it together quickly and go fly it.
And I don't know a lot about that either, but I would think the commercial model, they've already got all the kinks out of it for you.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about,
Right.
all that. Chris Phillips wants to know, what do you like better, planes or helis? And why?
And why? Okay. Got into planes heavy first. Loved them. Got into helicopters later. Found them more of a challenge. And probably like them both equally. I'm more comfortable with airplanes. I'm still trying to feel my way out with helicopters at the moment, but I think I'm doing pretty good.
Okay. I'd say planes on that one. But it's all what you have time to
Right.
get out there and do and what you fly.
Right.
Miller Monster Air, what are your stops going to be on your annual RC road trip this year?
Good question.
Yeah, and maybe change it up if we get some people
Right.
that maybe would like
This
to.
is the 6th annual RC road trip, and I'm actually changing it up quite a bit this year. I'll be traveling to see my friend Sean Hollick first and flying at his local club, Northside Tail Draggers, I believe, or Nest. And then we'll be going to the AMA Museum in Muncie. And we'll make a couple of regular stops with some of the hobby companies that I have grown to love in the past few years. And maybe you'll see some old friends in the videos. You'll just have to wait and see.
Okay. Augie NCC, what is your favorite micro or ultra micro RC airplane?
I read that one over already and I still don't have an answer for you. I'd love to tell you one, but I have so many. And
I think I'd like all the micros if I could fly.
Yeah.
Just so they're so cute you can do them in the house because
Yeah.
I'll be sitting in the living room. Here comes a little micro, something flying around and the dog just
Yeah.
freezes up, and
Okay.
Mr. Alex 10733, how do you store your planes?
Well, if you can see them over here, I hang them by the props mostly. When I first started this man cave out here, I tried to hang them to look like they were flying, but quickly ran out of space. So I found out if you hang them by the props, you can store a lot more in the same space.
Okay, Mr. Alex. Oh, and we just answered his question.
Okay?
You want to answer it again?
No. Go ahead.
Andy Chase. With all the time spent reviewing planes for the video, how often do you fly just for fun? What's your favorite? Do you ever get rid of planes to make space? He needs to. And are there any planes that you have flown or reviewed that you would suggest people avoid?
Okay. Start with the first question again.
Yeah. With all the time you spent, how often do you fly for fun?
I fly probably 50-50 for reviews and for fun.
Yeah.
A lot of stuff you don't see is me out there flying with my friend Chris or me flying by myself.
Yeah, and that gives me a break. So, he was like, I'm going to fly an airplane,
Yep.
and it's just for fun. I don't have to go along with them. Do you ever get rid of any of your planes to make space?
I used to keep all of them until I ran out of space. About a year ago, I started thinning out the fleet, and I'm down to a happy number right now. Let's put it like that.
Time to do it again. Are there any planes that you've flown or reviewed that you would suggest that people avoid?
I have not found that yet because I usually choose everything that I want to review, and I'm usually anticipating them happily, so no.
Simperatus, for which newbie, Eric, which for a complete newbie, forgive me, which plane would you most recommend as being the easiest for a beginner?
For a
Like
beginner,
me.
I don't want to name any specific airplane. There are so many out there to choose. My best suggestion to you would be a high wing trainer.
Okay. So you're going to let me fly one of your high wing?
Absolutely.
Got this one question coming from Score 0985 and Joe Boy 3944. Thanks for taking your time to make great videos. I'm wondering if you work a full-time job and do your videos on the side, or is making great airplane reviews your full-time job?
I kind of answered that a little bit earlier, but we'll just go over it real quick. My real job pays the bills for out here, which is
for all this stuff.
Yeah, which is a shift supervisor's job for a petrochemical company. I've been there 25 years. I do make money on the side through YouTube because I am a YouTube partner, so watching my videos helps, so make sure you watch these videos.
Adam Galt. Hi Eric. Just wondering how you came up with the name Around To It RC, and also if you fly only foam planes or balsa as well. Thanks for all the great videos.
Thank you. The name Around To It came up from Candy's aunt. She asked me to make a video on DVD for her, and I was kind of lazy about doing that. And she kept saying, well, when are you going to get around to making my video, Around To It?
Around To It.
So I actually did her video and made a nice cover page for her DVD and said Around To It Video Productions. And that kind of stuck with me. And I went from Around To It Videos to Around To It RC.
Alright. And DJ Illusion, any glow-powered planes or helis?
Actually, yes, I do. I have had in the past several years 4 or 5 glow-powered planes. I still have one, I believe. I've sold most of them. I have a gas plane, a big gas plane, and I have a glow-powered Raptor 30 helicopter.
Okay, thanks. David Bischoff, how long have you been in the RC hobby?
25 years? Off and on.
Time.
I started when I was in my early 20s, gave it up for a while, and then got back into it.
Okay. And Cheap for Speed wants to know, how many planes do you have? And I think I said this before, too many.
You know, people ask me that a lot, and I counted them like a year or so ago. I think I had around 75 or so back then. I've thinned that fleet down a little bit. I think a good guesstimate would be probably 50.
Okay. Okay, there was a second part of that. Do you even know it? Do you even know how many?
No. I have no clue, actually. I'm guessing when I say 50.
Okay, and we got, it looks like R Coconut. Do you ever sell any of your fleet of RC planes?
RC Coconut, I believe.
There's no RC and then Coconut, just R Coconut.
Okay, do I ever sell my planes? Yes, I have. I don't sell them over the internet. I don't ship them. It's usually the people locally that I sell to, just because it's convenient for me.
Okay. Looks like we got another little duplicate one here, but that's okay. It only takes a second to answer that. How long have you been flying RC?
About 25 years.
Okay. That was from James White. So
Okay.
Thanks for the question, James. There was a second part of that one. Do you ever build any old-fashioned balsa kits?
One time, and did a bad job at it, so I gave it up.
Stick what you know.
That's right.
Okay. And Hawks RC says, what's your personal radio?
I have several radios that I like just because I fly so many different types of airplanes and helicopters. My favorite radios would be the Spectrum DX18, the Futaba 8FG, and I just got my hands on a Tactic TTX 650 a few months ago. So I've got 3 that I like to dabble with right now.
Okay. And Stitch 1007 wants to know, what kind of charger do you use? Why don't you ever revisit your planes after your maiden reviews?
Okay.
Will you sell me your Park Zone Corsair?
Okay.
What do you do for a living? How often do you fly? Does Candy fly? Some of these little duplicates here.
Okay, start with the first one again.
Okay, what kind of charger do you use?
Mainly use a Thunder T6 charger. It's a 4-port charger, and I can charge 4 batteries at one time. because I have so many, I really need it. Next question from...
Why don't you ever revisit your planes after you've done the maiden reviews of them?
I have so many airplanes and so many things that I like to do with them. I usually try and hit the review. You will see an occasional video of me flying it after that, maybe on vacation or just for fun. But normally it's just the review and it's out of here.
And Stitch 1007 wants to know if you want to sell him your Park Zone Corsair.
Already sold it, sorry.
What do you do for a living? I think we've covered
Hit
that. How often do you fly? Does Candy fly? And what got you started on YouTube? I think we've answered all those.
Yeah. All right, next question.
Turtle Chef 72. What does the discharge rate on a battery really mean?
Right.
I see 20C, 25C, 15, but what does all that mean and how does it affect a motor?
The C rating is the discharge rate of the battery. The higher the C rating, the more power it will deliver to your motor at one time. The lower the C rating, of course, the lower the battery, the power it will deliver to the battery. Meaning, let's take for instance a 3-cell 11.1 volt battery. You can have one that is only like a 10C or 12C and one that's maybe 30 or 35C. Well, both batteries have the same power rating, 11.1 volts. But the higher C rated battery will deliver more amps at a time versus the one with the lower C rating.
Okay, so is that bad for a motor to go from a 20C battery to a 25C battery?
It just depends on the motor. It's really a case-by-case situation. As long as you're not overamping the motor, you're fine.
Okay. And the next question comes from Miguel Acevedo. Thank you for your question. Are you planning on expanding the man cave? Running a bit out of room.
I would like to have one twice this size. Unfortunately, I don't think that's in the works for now, so that's why I end up selling planes every now and then. Thanks for asking, though, Miguel.
Tom McLeod wants to know, well, looks like it's a suggestion. When doing flights with video, like GoPro, spend a little more time on detailing how you mounted your cameras.
I totally agree with you on that suggestion. What I would like to offer to you is I like to do the video first and then later come back and give a more detailed video on how I mount the GoPro cameras, like I did with the Icon A5.
Okay. And LDO 727. Oh, looks like it's a big thank you. Thanks Eric and Candy for your great RC videos. Hope you will continue for many years to come. Maybe your son will take over one day as he is as passionate as you. Also thanks to your wife because a wife has a lot of patience with a hobby that a husband takes on. And yes, you're right about that. And thanks what?
Thanks, honey.
Okay.
Okay. All right. The question was, is my son as passionate as me about RC hobbies? Has no interest in it.
Not right now. He's only 18, and in fact, on Thursday, he's fixed to turn 19. So there's a little more things he's interested in right now instead of RC planes. So maybe when he gets older.
I had two sons. Neither one of them took an interest in it. Sean did a little bit. I bought him a plane. He flew it maybe 2 or 3 times. I bought him an electric car. He maybe drove it 2 or 3 times, and that's it. Mostly, they do not have an interest in it.
Right now. That could change.
It could change. But anyway, next question.
Jesse Hedrich, will you make a video showing all your planes and helis?
I can do that. Yes, I can. But I need to clean the workshop up first to do that.
And I think I've seen this name before. RC Squirrel 17. Plan on getting any quadcopters or tricopters? Do you like building or modifying the planes you have?
I don't own a quad or tricopter. I have several quads. There's one right here. I don't know if you can see it. It's a Flame Wheel 450 with a DJI nozzle board on it. I have flown it. I've flown it FPV. No videos on it just because the video quality is not that good. I try to give you guys quality videos, so if it doesn't meet my standards, you're not going to see it.
Do you like building or modifying the planes you have?
Oh, heck yeah. First I fly it, see if I like it or not, and there's always room for improvement, like more power.
Or lights.
Or lights, yeah, lights.
Yeah, I like the lights too.
Okay.
Chad Falkson wants to know, do you have any RC cars you like to drive around?
I actually bought several RC cars. I have a few HPI Firestorms. I did at the beach. I did some beach videos. A Losi Mega Baja, an RS4 on-road car, an Animus, a little electric car, and I just got some more cars that are coming up here soon that I'll be reviewing, made by Arma.
Okay. And Red Captain 10 wants to know, will you get into balsa jets, such as the E-Flite F4 Phantom and the Habu 32?
I was very interested in the Phantom?
F4 Phantom.
F4 Phantom. I flew one on a RC road trip last year out at Horizon Hobby with John Redmond, and was a little scared the whole time I flew it because that plane cost like $1,200. Had a great time with it, but I probably will not buy one because of the expense, and also the Habu 32 is many hundreds of dollars to get it up in the air, so you probably won't be seeing me fly either one of those.
Okay. And Waro01. John? Okay. All right. Wants to know, or says, as a longtime subscriber of yours, and thank you, I've never seen you fly the mighty WW2 World War II airplane, the P-38 Lightning, aka the Folk-Tail Devil, and do you have any plans on getting one?
Okay, John, good to hear from you again, buddy. I actually have a P-38 Lightning that I never really did an actual video on. It was made by E-Flite. I've had it for probably 3 years. It was in one of my RC road trip videos when I was in Iowa. However, John, a new treat for you. Right here behind me is a micro P-38 that I'll be reviewing real soon.
Would you get one? Which you just answered that.
Yep.
Do you like the older World War II aircraft look? I love the ones you've flown, but buddy, you got to do the 38. Make me drool.
One's coming, John. Don't worry.
Okay. Aaron Isold, what are your thoughts on FPV? With the recent controversy with drones, what opinions do you have on the subject? It is a growing aspect of the hobby that many people really enjoy. I've just started to get into it myself. So what are your thoughts on the FPV?
I really have enjoyed FPV flying, and you know, there's a lot of things that you don't see, and that's why we're here making this video right now. I've owned FPV equipment for probably 2 or 3 years. I just recently made my first FPV video with the Calypso, and I've tried it on the quad, and I have several other pieces of equipment that I'm working with right now. I do enjoy it. I think there's a little bit of controversy with it because there's always one bad apple in the group that wants to do something wrong with the FPV equipment. So as long as you're having a good time, go for it.
Beach 18 blah, 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 blah. Beach 18S. Eric, just wondering if you plan to do a product review on the new Blade 350QX or the DJI Phantom. That's Tom.
DJI Phantom. Yep.
Okay.
Tom, yes sir. Planning on getting one of those Blade 350QXs when they come out. And on my road trip here coming up in the next week, I hope to fly one of those when I see the guys at Horizon Hobby. The DJI Phantom I passed on because it's like $700 and proprietary equipment. You know, everything you had to buy in one kit. It's not like the Blade 350QX where you can use your own transmitter with it. And I think Blade has got their act together when they release theirs. Okay. Thanks for asking, Tom.
Lucas Johnson says, I'm a beginner at RC. Been flying 3-channel for about a year. I just bought a more advanced 4-channel model that my dad and I fly. It has not been in the air for more than 10 seconds at a time, and we've certainly spent more time repairing it than flying it. It's not a high-wing trainer, it's a low-wing. Any tips on flying it?
Get a flight simulator. If you can't fly it for more than 10 seconds, then obviously it's a little bit above your class right now. No, not being rude there. But if you're spending more time repairing it than flying it, you're probably not having a lot of fun with it right now. So get a flight sim, get some low-wing trainer sim time, and then try it out.
Okay, and I think we had this person before, Julio C. Oliveira. Have you ever considered giving up RC after a crash or something like that?
Man, I've sure felt like it sometimes. I tell you, I've had some crashes that just have really bummed me out. But
And I've been there for it.
yeah, she's been through the good and bad times. Overall,
But no, he wouldn't give it up just
I haven't
because.
given it up yet. May have
No.
delayed me a little bit from flying again, but I get back up in the air.
Yeah, sure do. Cookie Man 0916. What do you do? What do you guys do for a living? How often do you go flying?
Okay, we've already talked about the living part. How often do I go flying? Probably when the weather's decent. Probably half the time I'm off.
Okay. What do you guys do for a living? I work at a bank, so
Yes. Yep. Yep.
just so you know, 40-hour job, 40 hours plus
Yep.
a week.
We have real jobs because this one is not paying the bills. I'm telling
Exactly, and although I work at a bank, doesn't mean I'm rich. So.
you. Okay.
Omar M, can you do some tricopter reviews?
I would love to do a tricopter review. I haven't bought one yet, although I've been talking about getting one. So just bear with me a little bit longer, and you'll see one coming from me soon.
Okay. And Evan Kirkland wants to ask a question. You showed us one video of you doing FPV with the Calypso. Have you done much more with FPV, or was that a one-time thing?
I am so busy with reviews, and I have so many things in the pot that I'm working on. I would love to do more FPV videos, and a lot of the stuff I do doesn't make it to YouTube. So yes, more FPV will be coming. Just please be patient and give me some more time.
Okay. George Harvey says two things. Do you ever scratch build RC planes? If so, do you build videos on them? I like one where you did do it one time and you sped it up. You had a real clock doing it, and you had to, and then you sped it up. So I know that you've done a video on building them. And also, how many warbirds do you have, especially P-38 and P-40?
Have a couple of P-38s, no P-40s, P-47, F6F, F4F, F4U. I'm sorry. That's probably it. Oh, and an F-20, if you would call that a warplane. And what was the other part of the question? Scratch builds?
Yeah. Do you ever scratch build RC airplanes?
I have. It was a great experience. Don't plan on doing it anytime soon just because of the amount of time it takes to do it.
Yep. And Johnny Maynard wants to know if you will show him how to set up the FPV on the Calypso. What gear and how you set it up.
I can do that. A lot of the equipment I own, some of it is several years old, some of it is new. The best resource I can give you right now would be the RC forums for FPV, and I have been buying my stuff from Ready Made RC lately. They do a lot of kits also. You should check them out.
Okay. Nice Tommy 15 wants to know, on a scale of 1 to 10, how much do you like the RC USS Enterprise?
That's got to be a 10. That's one of my most favorite airplanes. That was a kit plane that I actually talked somebody into start building and selling kits, and he loves that video. That my video review of the USS Enterprise has 1.5 million hits, or 1.6. And I just released a video of it not long ago with 351 LED lights. I don't know if you can see it. That's it right over there.
Like I said, I like lights.
Yeah, it's great. Love it. Get one.
Okay. The Gospel Guitarist. I see on the shelf you're about to get into a different kind of plane, the hydroplane. They do fly somewhat.
Yep, right there behind me, kind of hard to see, is a Aquacraft GP1 hydroplane boat. I gotten into boats early on, a few years ago. Pretty much gave them up for a while. I'm about to get back into surface RC, and you'll see some planes, or not planes, you'll see some cars and trucks and boats coming real soon.
Okay. All Things Scars 1 wants to know, are you ever going to get rid of some of your RCs, like in giveaways, sell them to the viewers? or sell them to the viewers,
Um,
etc.?
I said this on my Facebook page a few weeks ago that when I reached 100 RC video reviews, I would have a giveaway. And I think I'm at 98 right now. So I've got 2 more reviews to do, which you can see got the reviews to do right here. When I hit 100, I'll have a giveaway, and it will be pretty spectacular, I hope, and maybe you'll win.
Yeah, keep watching. And let's see, and that was we have one from Ventari. Are you going to Iowa again this year?
That's
if
Steve.
So, okay. If you should call me and stop by Southern MN, Minnesota.
You met Steve at Seth.
Oh, I did. Yeah, Steve. Okay.
Yeah, the tall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I am not going to Iowa this year on my RC road trip, Steve. Sorry to say that. The farthest north and west I'll be going will probably be near Chicago. So maybe next year, Steve.
Yeah, change it up. Go
Change
some
it
different
up.
places.
That's right.
Yeah. Black Men, New Style. What do you think about FPV flying?
It's the bomb. It's the new way. I'm telling you, it's coming. FPV is fun. I wish they would drop the prices on the video goggles, man, because they're outrageous. I got a set right there. Dominators right there. $300. Good gosh. When they drop the price more, it will blow the market wide open on that. So just keep waiting.
And BOK 1797 says, Eric, could you do a review on SIG Cadet LT40 .46cc motor trainer and your opinion of that trainer, the ARF model? Thanks, and we enjoy all your videos.
Okay, a couple of things to note here. I really appreciate the suggestions for what I should review next. It really depends on my pocketbook as to what I will review. Now, the SIG Cadet, I have actually looked at that one for you before we did this video. It was really close to the Superstar Mark II airplane that I had, and I don't think I made a video of that either. But it's a high wing plane that would be a good beginner plane if you're getting into nitro or glow, and fairly easy to fly. So yeah, go ahead and try it out. I'm sure you'll like it.
And the LT40 46cc motor trainer?
That's the same thing, I
Same
think.
thing? Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I don't know all this jargon, so,
Yeah,
you know,
I
I
think
look like
that's-
2 different things to me.
Right, okay.
And our last question comes from Braden Peterson. Tell us about your worst, most devastating crash. Not a good subject.
Woo, I had so many. Yeah, and a lot of them don't make it to
he was
YouTube.
swearing like a sailor.
Yeah. You know, I've had so many, it's hard to say which one was the worst to me. I crashed just like everybody else.
Yeah, but how about the one that I mean, you lost it, and we were surprised it didn't blow up or something because the way it hit where the battery was.
No, that's not the one I was thinking about.
No, it's not the one you were thinking. I was, because when I saw the battery and the shape of the battery, I was like, I was surprised that it didn't
I don't even know
catch.
which one you're talking about. I've
No?
crashed so many.
Oh, okay.
Devastating, they were all devastating. How about
Oh,
that?
of course, yeah. True. If
Okay.
you had to be there with him.
All right, I think that wraps it up. I hope this video wasn't too long and that you stayed to the end, because I appreciate everybody's support and watching the videos and all the great compliments that I hear after I put the video up. I really do appreciate that. And telling Candy that she does a fantastic job recording just does my heart good. And
Me too, because I want to know that I'm doing it for a reason, you know?
Hey, pick up Millie. She's got to
Yeah,
say
Millie
goodbye.
has a question too. And this one comes from Millie. She's like, Daddy, when are you going to be done so Mommy can spend some time with me?
Yep. Okay, well, that's it. This is the first update Q&A video I've done. I know it's got to be long as all get out. So the future ones will probably be less than 10 minutes long. So.
Yeah. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it. And thanks for sticking around,
Yeah.
like you said, and hopefully for the whole thing.
Yeah. All right. What's the saying?
Keep on flying. You have so many.
I'm glad you got to see me.
Yeah, us.
Us this time.
Yeah, because usually
Yep.
he says it, and but you
Yep.
never see me. You just hear me say.
Yep.
And we'll see you later on the tube.
Glad you got to see me. Glad you got to see Candy. We'll
And
see
we'll see
you
you
later on the
on the
tube.
tube.
And remember,
Keep on flying.
keep on flying.